Welcome back, rare coins all world, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we've got a fascinating story to tell about a seemingly ordinary coin that could be hiding a fortune in your pocket or collection. That's right, we're talking about the 1975 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the 1975 penny. While many of these pennies are still in circulation today, there's one in particular that has become highly sought after, and the value might just surprise you. Stick around until the end of the video to find out exactly how much this coin could be worth. When you think about US coins, the penny might not be the first one that comes to mind as a high-value collectible. After all, the penny has been in circulation since the late 18th century and has become a familiar piece of everyday currency. But the 1975 penny is a little different, and if you know what to look for, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. Now, let's talk about the history behind this particular penny. The 1975 1-cent coin was struck during a time when the US economy was experiencing a lot of changes. The country was in the midst of the post-Vietnam War era, and inflation was on the rise. The coin itself, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the familiar wheat stalk design on the reverse, was minted as part of the ongoing series that had been circulating since 1909. But it's what happened during its minting that makes the 1975 penny so intriguing. In 1975, a significant change occurred in the way pennies were produced. The US Mint was in the process of transitioning from a smaller, lighter copper coin to a new zinc-based composition, which would eventually become the standard for modern pennies. As a result, there were some inconsistencies in the production process, which led to the creation of some rare and valuable versions of the 1975 penny. While the majority of 1975 pennies are made from copper, there are a few with a unique composition that makes them incredibly valuable today. These pennies were struck with the new zinc alloy, and finding one in good condition is a true collector's dream. One of the key factors that increases the value of the 1975 penny is its rarity in pristine condition. Like many older coins, most 1975 pennies have been used in daily transactions and have suffered from wear and tear. However, pennies that have been kept in mint or uncirculated condition are extremely rare. If you find a 1975 penny that looks almost as if it just left the mint, you could be looking at something truly valuable. But the 1975 penny is not just valuable because of its condition, it also has some interesting characteristics that collectors prize. Some of these coins exhibit minor errors or unique features that set them apart from regular pennies. For example, certain 1975 pennies were struck with a double die error, where the design appears more than once on the coin. This is a mistake that happens when the coin is struck more than once by the die, and the resulting image becomes blurry or doubled in certain areas. These types of minting errors make a coin much rarer and can dramatically increase its value. In addition to double die errors, other types of minting errors can make the 1975 penny even more valuable. Off-center strikes, where the coin is misaligned during the minting process, are highly coveted by collectors. The more extreme the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. If you find a 1975 penny with such a flaw, it could be worth much more than you might think. These rare and unusual characteristics are what make the 1975 penny stand out in the world of coin collecting. So, what does all this mean in terms of value? Well, while most 1975 pennies are worth just 1 cent in their standard condition, the rare ones, those in mint condition or with minting errors, can fetch a lot more. If you happen to have a 1975 penny with the right characteristics, it could be worth as much as $33,000. Yes, you heard that right, $33,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as simple as a coin could be worth such a large sum of money, but in the world of coin collecting, rarity and condition are key. Now, how do you know if you have one of these rare and valuable 1975 pennies? Start by carefully inspecting the coin. Look for any signs of wear and tear, and if the coin looks particularly fresh and free of scratches, it may be worth taking a closer look. Check for any unusual characteristics, such as a double die error or an off-center strike. If you notice anything that seems out of the ordinary, it could mean that you have a coin that's worth far more than face value. The next step is to get it professionally graded by a reputable coin grading service. This will give you a better idea of the coin's true value. So, if you've got a 1975 penny in your collection or even in your spare change, it's time to take a closer look. You could be holding onto something worth thousands of dollars. It might seem unbelievable, but with the right condition and the right era, your penny could be worth as much as $33,000. Coin collecting can be an exciting and rewarding hobby, and sometimes the most unexpected coins hold the greatest value. Today, we have something truly special to talk about: the 1979 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the penny. Now, when you think of a penny, you probably don't imagine it being worth much more than a single cent. But trust me, this particular penny from 1979 could be hiding a fortune, and you won't believe just how much it could fetch in today's market. So, why exactly is the 1979 penny so valuable? Well, let's take a look back at the year it was minted and the unique characteristics that make it one of the most sought-after pennies by collectors. The 1979 penny is part of the well-known Lincoln Memorial Series, which began in 1959 and continued through 2008. Most of these coins were minted with the same basic design, featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, there's more to this story than just its appearance. The 1979 penny has a few surprising features that make it stand out from the rest. The main reason this penny is so valuable comes down to its rarity in certain conditions. While millions of 1979 pennies were produced and circulated, finding one in uncirculated or near mint condition is a real treasure. Over the years, the vast majority of these pennies have been used for everyday transactions, meaning they've been worn down and scratched. So, if you're lucky enough to find a 1979 penny in pristine condition, you've stumbled upon something very special. But it's not just the condition of the coin that drives up its value. There are also certain minting errors that make the 1979 penny even more valuable. For example, some 1979 pennies were struck with a double die error, which means the design was stamped onto the coin more than once, creating a blurry or doubled image. This type of error is incredibly rare, and coins with this flaw are highly prized by collectors. Another feature that makes the 1979 penny valuable is its mint mark, which is located just below the date on the coin. The mint mark tells you where the coin was produced, whether it was made in Philadelphia, No mint mark, Denver, D mint mark, or San Francisco, S mint mark. In the case of the 1979 penny, most of the coins were produced in the Denver mint and bear the D mint mark. However, a few pennies from that year were struck in San Francisco and carry the S mint mark. These pennies are even rarer and therefore more valuable. Now, what does this all mean in terms of value? Well, let's get to the exciting part. The 1979 penny, in excellent condition, can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to a few $100s depending on its grade and rarity. But here's the real kicker: if you happen to have a 1979 penny with a minting error or in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth as much as $37,000, that's right, $37,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as small and seemingly insignificant as a 1-cent coin could be worth such a large sum of money. But that's the magic of coin collecting. The right combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance can turn a humble penny into a treasure worth thousands. So, how do you know if you have one of these rare and valuable 1979 pennies? The first step is to carefully examine the coin. If it looks especially fresh and free of scratches, chances are it's in good condition. The next step is to look for any minting errors. Check for doubled lettering or images, as this can indicate a double die error. If you find an S mint mark on a 1979 penny, it's worth paying extra attention because those coins are harder to come by. Once you've identified a potential valuable penny, the next step is to get it graded by a professional coin grading service. These services assess the condition of the coin and assign it a grade, which will help determine its value. Coins that are graded as mint state or uncirculated will typically fetch a much higher price than those that are heavily worn or damaged. So, if you have a collection of pennies, or if you come across a 1979 penny in your change, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. It might not look like much, but that little penny could be worth far more than you expect. In fact, a 1979 penny in great condition, with the right minting error or rare characteristics, could be worth as much as $37,000. In the world of coin collecting, small details can make a huge difference in a coin's value. Whether it's a rare mint mark, a minting error, or just a well-preserved coin, the 1979 penny has become a favorite among collectors, and its value is steadily climbing. So, if you think you might have a hidden gem in your collection or you stumble upon one in your spare change, don't overlook it. It could be your ticket to a small fortune. Thank you for watching today's video. Today, we have something truly fascinating to talk about, an iconic piece of American history that you might have lying around in your pocket or in your coin collection. We're diving deep into the 1961 United States 1-cent coin, more commonly known as the penny. Now, we know what you're thinking, a penny is just a penny, right? But believe me, the 1961 penny is no ordinary coin, and its value may just surprise you. The 1961 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which has been one of the most iconic coin designs in U.S. history. The Lincoln Memorial, which graces the reverse side of the coin, is a symbol of the strength and legacy of the United States. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse side is a reminder of the nation's 16th president, whose leadership during the Civil War and his role in shaping the country's future left a profound impact on the United States. While most people view pennies as small and insignificant, the 1961 penny holds a special place in the world of numismatics, the study or collection of coins. Why, you ask? Well, the story behind its value is a mix of rarity, historical significance, and its condition. Let's break down why this little coin is worth so much more than just 1 cent. First, we need to talk about the rarity of the 1961 penny. While millions of these pennies were minted in 1961, the majority of them have been heavily circulated. They've been tossed around in cash registers, dropped on the ground, and used in countless everyday transactions. Over the years, this constant circulation has led to many of these pennies becoming worn down, damaged, and, in some cases, lost altogether. So, if you happen to come across a 1961 penny in excellent condition, well, you might just have a real treasure on your hands. The condition of the coin is incredibly important when it comes to determining its value. A 1961 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear or damage and still has sharp, clear details, can be worth far more than one that's seen years of use. The less a coin has been handled, the higher its grade and, therefore, its value in the marketplace. So, if you have a 1961 penny that looks almost brand new, keep reading because this is where the real value begins to emerge. Now, let's talk about the mint mark on the 1961 penny. If you're not familiar with it, the mint mark is a small letter found on the obverse side of the coin, just below the date. It tells you where the coin was minted, whether it was made in Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, the D mint mark, or San Francisco, the S mint mark. The vast majority of 1961 pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark, but there were also coins produced in Denver with the D mint mark and a few others with an S mint mark. So, if you have a 1961 penny with a mint mark from Denver or San Francisco, you've got something even more special, as these are far rarer than their Philadelphia counterparts. A mint mark can significantly increase the value of the coin, especially if it's in good condition and has been preserved over the years. But here's the real kicker: even though most 1961 pennies aren't worth more than a couple of cents, if you happen to find one in uncirculated condition with a rare mint mark or an error, the value could skyrocket. Some collectors and enthusiasts are willing to pay a premium for rare coins, especially those with unique characteristics or flaws that make them stand out. And let's not forget about those special, hard-to-find variations that happen during the minting process, like double dies or striking errors. So, just how much could a 1961 penny be worth? Well, if you find a 1961 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could fetch a hefty sum. But here's the most exciting part: if you happen to have a rare mint mark or a coin with an error, that same penny could be worth as much as $42,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $42,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that such a small, seemingly insignificant coin could have such a high value, but that's the magic of coin collecting. The right combination of condition, rarity, and minting errors can turn a simple penny into a small fortune. So, how can you tell if your 1961 penny is one of the rare and valuable ones? The first step is to carefully inspect the condition of the coin. If it looks worn or scratched, it's probably not going to be worth much more than face value. But if it looks sharp and pristine, you may have a gem on your hands. The next step is to check for any minting errors. Look for doubled images or unusual details that could indicate an error during production. Finally, take a look at the mint mark. If your penny has a D or S mint mark, or if it's in flawless, uncirculated condition, you may want to get it professionally graded by a coin expert. Grading services assess the quality of the coin and can help determine its value based on its grade. Coins that are graded as MS, mint state, or PR, proof, are typically worth much more than those that are heavily worn. If you've got a 1961 penny sitting in your collection, or if you stumble upon one in your spare change, don't let it slip through your fingers without taking a second look. With the right condition and features, it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Who knows? That little penny might just be hiding a fortune waiting to be discovered. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Today, we've got a truly fascinating coin to explore, and it's one that many of you might not think twice about when you see it. Yet, this little penny from 1968 is far more valuable than you might imagine. So grab your magnifying glass and join us as we uncover the hidden treasure in the 1968 United States 1-cent coin. When you hear the word penny, you probably think of those little copper-colored coins that you find everywhere. But not all pennies are created equal, especially when it comes to the 1968 penny. This particular coin is part of a larger series that includes some of the most famous and iconic U.S. coins. While 1968 may not seem like a long time ago in the grand scheme of things, there's a fascinating backstory to this penny that makes it stand out from the rest. First, let's take a quick look at the historical context. In 1968, the U.S. was going through a time of significant social and political change. The civil rights movement was in full swing, and the country was dealing with the fallout of the Vietnam War. Economically, the U.S. was still on the gold standard, and the country's coins were predominantly made of copper. The 1968 penny was no exception, and it was part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which had been in circulation since 1959. Now, the Lincoln Memorial series, with its iconic design, has been beloved by coin collectors for decades. On the obverse of the 1968 penny, you'll find the classic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, whose face has graced the penny since 1909. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of national unity and strength. But this isn't just a coin that tells the story of Lincoln's legacy, it's also a coin that tells the story of American coinage during a pivotal time in history. The 1968 penny, like many coins from this era, was mass-produced to meet the demand of a growing economy. In fact, there were billions of these coins minted that year. However, the key to unlocking the true value of the 1968 penny lies not in the number of coins produced, but in its rarity, condition, and the mint mark that it carries. You see, the mint mark is a small letter located on the obverse of the coin, just below the date. This mint mark tells you where the coin was struck. In the case of the 1968 penny, the majority of these coins were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't use a mint mark. However, some were minted at the Denver Mint, and these are the ones collectors are really after. So, why is the 1968 penny with the Denver Mint mark so valuable? The answer lies in the number of these coins that were produced. Although millions of pennies were struck in 1968, the coins from Denver were far fewer in circulation due to some minting errors and other factors. As a result, those with the Denver mint mark are significantly rarer than their Philadelphia counterparts. If you've got one of these in your collection, you're holding on to a piece of history that could be worth far more than its face value. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin. This is where things get interesting. Most of the 1968 pennies you'll come across are worn and damaged, as they've been used in everyday transactions for decades. However, a penny that has been well preserved, with sharp details and minimal signs of wear, can fetch a much higher price. The less circulation the coin has seen, the more valuable it becomes. In fact, a coin in mint condition can be worth a significant amount more than one that has been heavily circulated, but the real kicker comes when we talk about the special varieties and errors that can make the 1968 penny even more valuable. Minting errors are a collector's dream. These errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, and they can make certain coins extremely rare and desirable. For example, a 1968 penny with a double die error, where the image is faintly doubled, can command a much higher price because of its rarity. If you happen to have a 1968 penny with any unusual features, such as doubling, overstrikes, or any other unique traits, you could be in luck. These coins are highly sought after by collectors who are looking for the rarest of the rare. But even without these errors, the 1968 penny with a Denver mint mark and in good condition can still be worth quite a bit. So, just how much could a 1968 penny be worth? If you've got a 1968 penny in uncirculated condition, with a Denver mint mark or an error that makes it stand out, you could be looking at a coin worth up to $47,000, that's right, $47,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something so small and seemingly insignificant could hold such a high value, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. The value of a coin is determined by so many factors: rarity, condition, mint mark, and even the presence of minting errors. And if you have a 1968 penny that checks all the right boxes, you could have a small fortune on your hands. So, what's the takeaway from today's video? The next time you come across a 1968 penny, take a moment to really examine it. Look for the mint mark, check the condition, and see if it has any unique features. It could very well be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Today, we're diving into the world of one of the most interesting coins in American history, the 1978 United States 1 cent, commonly known as the penny. At first glance, this might seem like just another ordinary coin you'll find in your pocket change, but trust us, this penny could be worth a small fortune. Stick with us as we explore why the 1978 penny, especially those with certain mint marks and conditions, has become a highly sought-after treasure among collectors. The year 1978 was significant for many reasons in the United States. The country was navigating a post-Vietnam era, and the economy was adjusting to a time of inflation, higher energy costs, and changing political landscapes. But while these events were unfolding, the U.S. Mint was quietly producing coins that would one day become a goldmine for collectors. The 1978 penny was part of the ongoing series featuring Abraham Lincoln, which had been in circulation since 1909. On the obverse, you'll find Lincoln's iconic portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that remains unchanged to this day. The reverse features the classic wheat ears design that graced the coin for much of the early 20th century, but by 1978, it had been replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design, which symbolized national unity and strength. Now, let's take a closer look at what makes the 1978 penny so unique. One of the most important factors when determining the value of any coin is its mint mark. On the 1978 penny, the mint mark can tell you exactly where it was produced. The most common mint mark on the 1978 penny is the D, which means it was minted in Denver, but there's also the S mint mark, indicating it was minted in San Francisco. These mint marks play a crucial role in determining the rarity and value of the coin. For most pennies from this year, the value isn't necessarily extraordinary. After all, there were millions of these coins minted and circulated. However, there's a twist. While many of these coins were released into circulation and spent over the years, there's a subset of these 1978 pennies that are highly coveted by collectors. The key to their value is not just the mint mark, but also the condition of the coin. As you may know, coins that have been in heavy circulation tend to be worn down, and their value diminishes significantly. But what about those pennies that were never circulated? What about the ones that stayed pristine and were stored carefully? Well, these coins can be worth quite a bit more. A 1978 penny in mint condition, with no visible wear and sharp, clean features, is already much rarer than most coins you'll come across. In fact, these uncirculated coins can fetch a pretty penny at auctions or from collectors. But what about those that have additional rarities, such as errors or variations from the minting process? Yes, you heard that right. Coins with minting errors are often worth more than standard coins because they are one of a kind. For example, a 1978 penny with a double die, where the image appears to be doubled or misaligned, could bring in significantly more than a typical coin. Even small errors such as off-center strikes or over-polished dies can increase a coin's value. These minting mishaps are like little treasures that collectors are always on the lookout for. So, how much can you actually get for a 1978 penny? Well, if you happen to have a 1978 penny in perfect, uncirculated condition, or even one with an error, you could be holding a coin worth a lot more than its face value. And for those of you lucky enough to possess a particularly rare version of this coin, the price can be staggering. Believe it or not, the 1978 1 cent with certain mint marks and in pristine condition could fetch as much as $55,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $55,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, but that's the world of coin collecting. When it comes to rare coins, the value doesn't always match what's printed on the face of the coin. Instead, the rarity, condition, and history behind the coin can turn an otherwise ordinary penny into a small fortune. So, if you've got a stash of old coins sitting around, or you come across a 1978 penny in your spare change, take a moment to check its condition and look for that mint mark. You might have a valuable treasure on your hands, and you wouldn't want to miss out on a potential windfall. If you've enjoyed today's video, be sure to give us a like and subscribe to the channel so you can stay updated on more exciting coin discoveries. You never know what hidden gems might be in your collection, so keep searching and keep collecting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Happy collecting!